Hello everyone, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota. My name is Jaren Nelson, and I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the center. We're so happy that you are joining with us today. In recognition of the one infinite presence that connects us all, I greet you with Namaste. Namaste is a Sanskrit word and means the divinity in me recognizes and honors the divinity in you. Each Sunday, we like to remind ourselves of our community's declaration. I invite you to join your voice with mine in reading this declaration aloud. We are a spiritual center that honors all paths to God. Ours is a positive message, inspiring our possibilities and offering spiritual tools for transforming our lives and helping to make the world a better place. Here, we can find peace of mind, belonging to a spiritual home, and a personal relationship with the God of our understanding. We are here to discover what we already know. We have now come to the time in our service where we pause and take a few moments to go within. I encourage you to get comfortable, relax the body, close the eyelids, allow both your breathing and mind chatter to slow down. Find that inner stillness and listen as Fawny sings a Karen Drucker chant, one breath at a time. You may even want to sing along.
One breath at a time. One breath at a time. That's where grace comes in. One breath at a time. One breath at a time. One breath at a time. That's where grace comes in. One breath at a time. One step at a time. One step at a time. That's where peace comes in. One step at a time. One step at a time. One step at a time. That's where peace comes in. One step at a time.
Today, I am sharing words with you based on the writing of Raymond Charles Barker, who writes, "The universe is pushing us forward. It does this because it must. There is no retrogression in God. Mind is forever evolving new ideas, and these ideas are forever urging us on to greater good. Only those who look backward grow feeble. Their disintegration touches our sympathy, but wisdom tells us to release them, to their own stagnation and catch up with those in the vanguard of advancing souls who let God work through them. To the alert and inquiring, God speaks. Mind reveals its ideas and good appears everywhere. The law of life is the law of growth, expansion, and increase. We must accept this, for it has been given unto us freely, and all that it asks is that we follow its instructions. As we look ahead and behold the ideas of God unfolding within us and projecting themselves into form through us, we see our increased good. We move forward in the divine design of our life and find the future pregnant with good. The Christ mind is within us, and we willingly follow its urges towards a richer and fuller life. There is no bondage to the past, for today we are free in God to express all its ideas fully. We see ahead on our pathway with faith, vision, and love. We accept the great and true experience which God has already given us. The life of the Spirit within us compels us to move on from the past, do our best in the present, and envision good in our future. No seeming evil can stop us. No wrong thinking can forever hold us back, because its plan for us is undefeatable. We give great thanks that life moves us forward into greater good today and always. And so it is. Today, we are delighted to once again have Rev Christie Hardwick as our guest speaker. Rev Christie is an ordained religious science minister, a leadership development expert and master facilitator, having had her own executive coaching practice for over 15 years. She also had a 30-year career in the high-tech world, including several years at the executive level. In addition, she was a member of the executive committee of the Women's Leadership Board for the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard. As the founder of Inspiration Gatherings, Christie creates music and spoken word events to invite each of us to walk our path with a more open heart. She divides her residence between Italy and St. Petersburg, Florida. Rev Christie and her wife Jane have 4 children and 5 grandchildren between them. Rev Christie Hardwick will be sharing a message with us today entitled, Finding the Awe in What Seems Awful. However, before we hear from our guest speaker, we're going to hear again from today's talented guest soloist, Fawny, as she sings, Let Love Be Your Goal. Welcome, Fawny and Bob.
It'll all work out, don't stress yourself. What's meant to be will happen anyway. Open your heart, don't be afraid. If not now, tomorrow is another day. Take a deep breath, fill up your soul. Take in the magic, you will know where to go. Walk in your heart, use love as your guide. Tell the truth, set your fear aside. Set your fear aside. Connect with your soul. your fear aside. Let love be your goal. Love holds you up behind it all. No matter the appearance, it won't let you fall. Trust in your heart, know that it's true. You're not lost, love is always there with you. Take a deep breath, fill up your soul. Take in the magic, it will know where to go. Walk in your heart, use love as your guide. Tell the truth, set your fear aside. Set your fear aside. Connect with your soul. Set your fear aside. Let love be your goal. Set your fear aside. Connect with your soul. Set your fear aside. Let love be your goal.
Hello, beloved community. Good to be with you again. Here we are in this time of year that is so well known for the season change in some parts of the country. Where we are, we don't see it change so much here in the South, but we're aware. We start to see the pumpkins on the doorsteps. And around this time, all over the country, there are children thinking about Halloween and how it'll be a little different this year. But in years past, Halloween or All Hallows Eve was an opportunity to be scared on purpose, to dress up, to fantasize about being something other than who we are each day. There's a playfulness in it. So this being scared is pretend, and the children know that it's pretend. Also, in our country and other places in the world, there's a beautiful celebration that has to do with the Day of the Dead. And people are building beautiful altars of their ancestors with pictures and flowers and food. It's called an ofrenda. And ofrendas are being built this time of year also. And they are sacred, a sacred celebration. So the scared and the sacred happening together at different places at different times. I find it really interesting, I always have in my journaling, that the word scared and sacred have the same letters in it, and there's just a reconfiguration and something else emerges. I also notice that the word awful has the sound of awe in it also. At this time of year, when scariness is pretend for some people, there's also some things going on in the world where scariness is not pretend. We may actually feel the fear. Even if we know on a metaphysical level that the reality behind whatever we're fearing is still perfect in divine order and love. Unlike the children, we can't always keep in mind that what we're seeing in front of us is not necessarily the truth of things. But we work on that. So today I'm thinking about the idea of the sacred in being scared and the awe in something that might seem awful. We like to transform our feelings into those that we prefer. So we might consider negative emotions like fear or anxiety or sadness or grief or worry, any of those feelings as lower vibrations that we want to transform. And sometimes we want to transform them immediately. One thing we may want to consider, though, is that those are also part of the human experience. The beautiful poet, Rumi, the Sufi poet Rumi, is probably most well known in this popular culture right now for his piece called The Guest House, that talks about how there are emotions that arrive into our experience on a daily basis. And he invites us to welcome them in as guests, as honored guests, because they bring something for us. And he's speaking not just of those emotions that are joyous, but the emotions that we might consider negative, because they could be bringing us an experience to deepen our understanding of each other, of the world, and ultimately of our connection and our oneness with the divine. Because sometimes these lower emotions force us, to be aware. What I think about in terms of these emotions is the process that we as human beings have. A thought arises, a feeling arises. The feeling arises, and from that feeling we begin to act sometimes. We don't necessarily go back to the thought that from which the feeling arose to determine whether or not we should act on that. This happens for us sometimes automatically and unconsciously. The thought arises, the feeling arises, we act on that feeling. When we are having a thought that is something we consider negative, like that's awful, we will then feel sad or grieved or fearful or angry. And then from that feeling, we decide what we'll do. Sometimes on the side of the negative emotions or thoughts that we have, we will do things like eat or drink or get active, or we might use some of our spiritual tools to pray, meditate, anything we can do to shift or change that feeling. But we don't often go back to the original thought. That's awful, right? I'm scared. I'm scared of this or that or the other, so I begin to feel the anxiety and fear, and then I act on that. I do something out of that fear or anxiety. Usually those choices don't end up being our best choices when we are acting from the thought that is, it's awful, I'm scared. Doesn't mean we shouldn't have those thoughts. They arise. They arise living in the world. We are spiritual beings, but we're having that human experience. Those thoughts will arise. One of the beautiful things I learned from the neuroscientist Jill Bolte Taylor, who wrote the book My Stroke of Insight, she talked about how some of our emotions, like anger, run a circuit in us. We're made of electrical impulses and chemicals and fluids that move through like this machine. And when we have a thought that arises that creates a feeling of anger, she said it runs a circuit for about 90 seconds. 90 seconds. If you take a deep breath and you breathe in a coherent way, maybe breathing in 5, breathing out 5. Do that about 10 times. And then maybe you make yourself aware of your body, or starting at your feet and scanning the body all the way up to the top of the head. At the end of that, 90 seconds has passed. And that emotion has run its circuit. I don't know about you, but has anyone else been angry for longer than 90 seconds? When we are in a discussion, let's say a heated discussion, we're actually in an argument with someone, if it ever happens to you, you will find yourself losing the steam, the feeling of the anger, even when you're in the argument. But what we do is we rehook the thought. We keep thinking the idea to justify why we're angry. But in truth, that anger has run its circuit and it's finished. Now, I'm not saying that every emotion has a 90-second run. She didn't look at every emotion and categorize how long it runs its circuit. But the concept is that it is something that we feel, and it does have an ending to it. It doesn't continue unless we rehook the thought that creates the feeling that runs through our system. So we have this opportunity when we see something that we consider awful. We could let that feeling run through us. Feel it. Feel it. And then let it run through and complete. And then maybe we ask ourselves, after looking at something that we feel is awful, what can I find the awe in this situation? What can I be in awe of in this situation? Not immediately, but after I feel the feeling. Because in that opening, in that vibration of awe about the human condition, about the human capacity, we may arrive at a place where our action then comes out of awe rather than the sense that things are awful and I'm angry or frustrated or scared about it. What could that make possible? And if we feel scared about something, we let that feeling of fear run its course. We feel it. We don't have to reject it or push it away. We can feel it. We can have the tears fall in sadness or grief or even anger, frustration. We can feel those feelings. And when they complete in us, we can then say, where do I see the sacred in this? Where is the sacred in this? I know that the truth is behind all appearances, there is the sacred. There is something that I should be or can be and am willing to be in awe of. But do we need to transform it immediately? No, we don't need to transform it immediately. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we can have these experiences of emotions, and they can be beautiful and rich aspects of our lives. And we as metaphysicians can help others in this time when they are feeling these emotions to recognize this pattern that's in all of us. This pattern of a thought arises, a feeling arises, and then we act from that feeling. And as I mentioned before, sometimes when the emotion has a lower vibration, a denser vibration, a heavier vibration in us, as we can imagine anger does versus something like hope or joy, right? If we have that vibration in us and we feel the lower density vibration, we can feel that vibration and we can shift that vibration by going back to the original thought. And once we go back to the original thought and we begin to lift from this vibration, we can notice that what we are emanating or what we're broadcasting begins to change. We probably wonder sometimes, as seekers of truth and teachers of truth and people who want to be love on the planet, can we ever be scared? Can we be feeling that something is awful? When we are here, we will have those thoughts and feelings. We can even think about the beautiful teacher, Jesus the Christ, and the way he emanated love, always. But his love was sometimes very fierce. His love also turned over the tables in the temple. His love said, take your bed and get up and walk. His love said, you, without a mistake, you throw the first stone. That was not necessarily gentle. It was fully feeling and then moving on into the love. He was even someone who was considered betrayed. And what did he do? Kiss that person on the cheek. And we may know that he might have had some feeling run through him when he learned of this idea of betrayal, but he allowed it to transform itself. We can allow anything that arises to be transformed. As we've learned, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I have a beautiful poem from a dear friend that I thought was so perfect for this time and this idea. And I'd love to share that with you. On this day 2 years ago, the beautiful, amazing spirit named Edika Luckett, the musician, the poet, the teacher, went on to transition to that next experience on this day. So this poem is called What If by Edika Luckett. So in one sense, we put Edika on our ofrenda as one of the ancestors of our spiritual family. We celebrate the sacred. What if? What if heartbreak is an opening for love, frustration, and invitation for patience? What if every wound weeps its own balm for healing? Every question beckons an answer, like rhythm inspires a dancer to move and express the thing that has yet to be revealed. Life generously offers a steady stream of uninvited guests, unsolicited opportunities to shake us from listless slumber, the accident, the quiet sorrow, the inconsolable cry for what can't be solved. What if, when life breaks in a way unplanned, light shines through the fracture, giving us a chance to understand the riddle within the mystery? Our present is our history until we heal our past. What if suffering grows compassion and conflict settles into understanding? What if in this ever-changing day-to-day, every trouble that comes our way is an opportunity to grow and evolve, to reveal a new direction, a truer expression, always closer to perfection, meaning clearer, nearer to the beloved one? What if you and I, the bees and the bear, the stars and the sun together embody the singular presence of the infinite one? What if we move beyond what, where, why, and how, and simply ask, what would love do now? Every opportunity, every thought that arises, and the feeling that arises gives us an opportunity to check in, to see where we are in relationship to being the love that we wish to see in the world. Every thought that arises, every feeling that arises gives us an indication of where we are in terms of the love we want to see, to have a world that works for everyone. As your emotions arise from the thoughts, feel the feelings, and then shift the thought, transform the feelings more and more toward the vibration, the light, the beingness that we call love. In this human experience, we will always have the thoughts arise. We will have the feelings arise. And every day, every moment gives us an opportunity to transform what is awful into what can bring us into awe, what we might be scared of that can bring us into alignment with the sacred. Let us give up our resistance to what is and allow for the flow and the ebb of the human experience to grow our hearts and change the world one beautiful transformational moment at a time. Have a beautiful week.
Time has unfolded me, it has revealed to me life's nothing less than sublime. With every thought I make, every last breath I take, may I be gracious and kind. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light every darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Kindness was over me. Make me a symphony. Play every note you can find. Make me reverberate. Gently deactivate. Slowly flow out of my mind. Find me a melody, dance and let my anthem be. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, cover me.
Thank you, Rev Christie Hardwick, for being with us and bringing your timely and inspiring message to us. And of course, thank you to Fawny and Bob for anchoring us in love with Love, Cover Me by Gary Lynn Floyd. Here at the Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota, we want you to know that we are available to you to support you in knowing the power and presence of your spiritual essence. We are here to offer prayer support, inspiration, encouragement, and opportunities for virtual community and connection. And we really appreciate your financial gifts so that we can continue to offer support to you. There are 3 simple ways to share your gift. On your screen, you'll see our website where you can select the donate button, which allows you to contribute via PayPal or credit card. You can mail a check to our address shown here on the website, or you can set up automatic contributions through your own online banking. And now, I invite you to take your virtual gift in your hand, place it over your heart, blessing it as you share it and know with me. My gift goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper, and the divine flow returns it to me, multiplied abundantly. Now please join me in saying our offering affirmation shown on your screen. I give thanks that I may share of my good, my love, and my support. Thank you so much. On our website at www.cslsarasota.com, we want to draw your attention to the green prayer request button, which allows you to send us your prayer request. Our 4 licensed spiritual practitioners, Kathleen Frankert, Ron Frost, Jim Grove, and me, stand by, ready to know and affirm spiritual truth with and for you, no matter the situation. Here on our website, you can also sign up for our weekly email newsletter or click on our Facebook link to see posts about upcoming events. We do want to remind you that virtual coffee and chat time is happening via Zoom online conferencing at 11 a.m. directly after today's service. Everyone is invited, and we certainly hope that we get to see you there today. The Zoom link for today's coffee and chat was in this week's e-newsletter, and you can also find it on our website at www.cslsarasota.com. On the right side of the page, you'll see upcoming events. Then click on Virtual Coffee and Chat via Zoom for November 1st. Then press on Click Here to view the flyer, and you'll see the Zoom link in the body of the flyer. In community news, if you haven't done so already, I do hope that you will join me in pop-up prayers. Pop-up prayers are posted about once a week on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, and in our weekly e-newsletter. I usually offer a short reading or a quote, an affirmation, and an affirmative prayer, and each video is only about 5 to 7 minutes long. Each week focuses on a new topic, and I also encourage you to submit prayer topics that you'd like me to address in the future to the email that is now on your screen. Also, feel free to scroll through the subject matter addressed in previously posted pop-up prayers to find the encouragement and support that you need in any given moment. Also, continuing on Wednesday nights from 7 to 8 p.m., we have our spiritual living circles that take place on Zoom. This is a great time in community and is open to all. Discussion will focus on an article from the current Science of Mind magazine. These circles are thought-provoking, inspiring, informal. They cost nothing to attend. And feel free to participate in this mid-week faith lift whenever you can. Please email the facilitator, licensed spiritual practitioner, Jim Grove, to receive the Zoom link, discussion questions, and a copy of the article in case you don't have the current Science of Mind magazine on hand. Now, as we conclude this most sacred time together, let us set the intention to move forward into our day and the week ahead, knowing that we go forward in peace, joy, love, and awe. I now invite you to join in singing our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. Thank you so much for being with us, and have a wonderful week, everyone.
And let it begin with me. I was meant to be with God our Creator. We are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow.